Today we have a really special review on Jurassic Outpost. Huge thanks to Mattel for sending along an early copy of the San Diego Comic-Con 2019 Jurassic Park John Hammond action figure. This release is going to be exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con 2019 attendees. They did do a pre-order for it for a little bit, and people who pre-ordered it when they're attending the con can then go collect their pre-orders. However, if you're not attending the convention, you cannot actually claim those pre-orders. Also, there will be individual items sold at the booth, so even if you are attending the convention but missed the pre-order, there's definitely still a good chance for you to get a hold of this. But let's jump right into this. First off, you can see that the packaging for the toy is this beautiful classic Jurassic Park gate packaging, and it is a box that surrounds the entire toy. And you have the classic Jurassic Park logo down here. Nothing on top, and your general UPC information down here on the bottom. But on the front, we have these two, the gate doors of the gate. And you can just pop them open, like so, and reveal John Hammond on the inside. And again, you can see, like so. So now for collectors who want to keep it in the box, they might keep it just like so with the gates open like this so you can see Hammond, or they might even keep it closed, or there's another option. When I pop open the box here, you're going to see that there's another packaging, a little bit more traditional packaging on the inside. So let's go ahead and pop this open. And there you have the John Hammond packaging inside of the more classic-looking Legacy Collection packaging. And this actually looks great. This is my first time seeing this in person. I haven't opened it beforehand. As you can see, mine got a little banged up in shipping, apparently. And on the back, you have this really great shot of Hammond, Ellie, Grant, and the baby raptor. A little bit about John Hammond himself there. Typical packaging. Now, again, this is only going to be available to San Diego Comic-Con attendees. This release of John Hammond will not be available in stores. That's not to say John Hammond won't ever be available in stores. I'm willing to bet that now that they have the tolling made for him, they will find a way to get a general release of John Hammond, even if it's not in this exact packaging or with this exact accessory. Okay, so speaking of the accessories, you have the John Hammond action figure. You have a baby raptor on a pedestal, which sort of recognized from Jurassic Park. It's not exactly accurate. I'll talk a little bit about that here in a bit. And then, of course, you have the cane with the mosquito inside of it, and the amber topper. And that actually looks great. There's a ton of detail in such a small little toy. So, last looks at the packaging before I rip it open. And that popped out nice and easily. And there you have. John Hammond is out of his package. Now here comes the scary part. With a little cane like that, I don't want to break it. So I need to figure out how that's in the package. So let's get Hammond out first. Easier said than done sometimes. Alright, so Hammond is out of the package. Now let's get these other guys out. Now I have the cane. The cane has a slight warp to it, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to easily straighten that out. And now here is the hatching baby velociraptor on the egg pedestal. So let's take a look at John Hammond. Right away, you can see John Hammond is a really nicely articulated figure. And what's really cool is his shirt, his overcoat, is actually a soft material, which means that you have this really nice, like, rubbery-like texture, and then you have his clothes underneath it, which just gives a little extra range of articulation when it comes to the legs. His head is beautifully detailed, really well painted. You have his hair, his beard, glasses, eyes, everything there is appropriately detailed. He has the same range of articulation as the other 3 3/4 inch toys in the line. He even has a nicely painted watch. and he stands really easily. So here's John Hammond. And this is one of those toys that people have wanted for a long time, but was never released. When Kenner had the license, they didn't do him for Jurassic Park. When Hasbro had the license, they didn't do him. Now Mattel has had toys on shelves for a little over a year, and they have a John Hammond toy coming, and that's incredibly exciting. Although I know a lot of fans have raised some of their concerns that it is a convention exclusive, especially for a lot of the long-term fans who've been with this franchise since the beginning. They're a little frustrated that it might not be an item that they can get a hold of easily, which is a fair enough complaint. But the fact is that none of these other toy companies were able to get this toy made, and there's a very logical reason why. This is a tough sell for kids and a tough sell for retailers. A toy like this might raise some concerns that it would not sell well if they made too many in a wave, and it would clog up the shelves. And then from there, future waves won't be ordered, and then it creates this kind of a cascading effect where the toy, basically, if a toy doesn't sell well, it could if it's a pig warmer, it will cause a little bit of an issue. Now, I know a lot of fans are sort of thinking, well, no, John Hammond, just short pack him and he's going to sell well. And you're probably right. But you have to understand also retailers don't necessarily have the same amount of passion that fans do, so they have to be a little bit more risk adverse. You have to make these choices on a logical basis. That said, now that Mattel has the metal molding for this, it's no longer an incredibly expensive outing. It's already made. So if they short pack him or they pack him in with a larger toy or something else, it's actually worth their while because they already have the investment into making this toy. So don't worry, John Hammond will get a release. I don't know that for a fact, but my gut tells me that's the case. Anyways, so that little rant aside, this toy looks fantastic. Let's see how close we can get it. You can see his face is beautifully detailed. You have the beard. You can see the beard painted up there. His eyeglasses are translucent. His eyes are painted. The likeness to Richard Attenborough is fantastic. The hat is painted, well detailed and textured. Like I said before, his shirt is like a sort of rubbery-like material, so that's really nice. His arms are, of course, articulated, just like the other figures. So if you want a dancing John Hammond, you can have a dancing John Hammond. And you can see even on the bottoms of his shoes, the back. This is a fantastic looking toy, and he feels great. I'm so excited that this toy has been released. Again, like I said, I know it's been a little bit of a point of drama because it's going to be a harder to find item, but I'm sure everybody who wants this toy will be able to get a hold of it. And if they don't want to spend whatever prices it might end up going online for, which I'm sure is going to happen because it's an exclusive, fair enough. I'm sure there will be an eventual future release of John Hammond. And this is just an incredibly awesome collector's item. And if there is one character that is worthy of a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive release, it is John Hammond. 100%. It is John Hammond. This character is the figurehead of Jurassic Park, and his Richard Attenborough, the character that he created with those films that he depicted, was just so absolutely warm and quirky and unique, and it's so hard not to love the character because of Richard Attenborough's performance. And because of that, this is such a well sought after toy, and I'm so glad that they finally made it. So let's take a look at the cane a little bit closer. So as you can see, there's a mosquito inside of it, which is pretty crazy. There's a ton of detail on the cane. Like I said, it's got a little bit of a warp, but I don't think it's anything I can't fix with possibly a hair dryer or something, just to warm it up and then hit some cold water once it's straightened out, and it should be fine, which I will do after this review. You can see through the amber topper, you can kind of see the hint of the mosquito inside, although it looks like the mosquito is a decal printed on the outside of the cane, which is totally fine for such a tiny, tiny little item like this. I'm surprised they even got the mosquito on there. That's some surprising and excellent craftsmanship. Now, here comes the part I don't necessarily like. The raptor in the egg pedestal. As some people mentioned, it sort of looks like a baby raptor sitting in a bowl of guacamole. But my big issue with it, that's not a Jurassic Park baby velociraptor. looks more like a compy or something. So for one thing, the sculpt isn't accurate to the films at all, and it's kind of funny when you compare it to what you see back here. You see this has a really kind of defined head with a long, narrow snout, and then back here you have this short snout, kind of rounder face, kind of a cuter face, where this looks like a more developed, like almost adult dinosaur. But the other thing is for some reason this is green. The Jurassic Park velociraptors are not green. They're like a beigeish brown with like orange and yellows. And then this is green. I don't know what happened. It's very possible. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to go in focus. It's very possible that... There we go. It's very possible that this wasn't sculpted for the John Hammond toy and it was part of the Jurassic World toy line and meant to be a different dinosaur altogether. And then it just got released with the Hammond toy because maybe the toy didn't come out. The toy it was meant to come out with didn't come out. However, accuracy issues aside, I really do like this as part of the Jurassic World line. Being able to have a little bit of a display prop like this is really, really something that the line needs more of. So let's take a look at Hammond next to some of the other toys. So as you can see, Hammond next to the other Legacy characters, which let's throw Muldoon in there just for good measure, looks great. All these characters look awesome. And then, of course, all of these characters next to the Brachiosaurus in the background. I accidentally forgot Ian Malcolm. How did I do that? Oh no, what have I done? I'm making some mistakes here. But so these characters next to all the Legacy characters look fantastic. John Hammond particularly is just absolutely striking in his white suit, his amber cane, and of course next to the giant Brachiosaurus. Mattel has continued to live up to John Hammond's spare no expense. And because of that, these toys have been an absolutely stunning collector's piece for fans, and then also play pieces for kids as well. And I think that everyone that gets a hold of Hammond is absolutely going to fall in love with this toy. I know that I have, and this is going to be one of the major highlights on my display. And it's definitely going to be a centerpiece. So again, the John Hammond toy is exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con 2019 attendees. You can pick it up by swinging by the Mattel booth if you're attending the show. Or, of course, if you pre-ordered it online, just swing by the booth to confirm that you're actually an attendee of the show. And then they'll make sure that they ship them out to you. Otherwise, like I said, you can pick them up at the booth. But supplies are limited, so make sure you act fast. And if you are not attending San Diego Comic-Con, maybe try reaching out to some fellow fans and see if they're attending, and maybe they'll be able to help you out. I know that that's how I want to get a hold of a second one that I have in package, and that's how I plan on doing it. Again, a huge thank you to Mattel for sending this review sample along. This John Hammond toy is easily probably my favorite human from the entire Jurassic World Mattel line. Honestly, it's probably my favorite human out of any Jurassic Park toy line ever. The articulation is great. The detail and likeness to Richard Attenborough is fantastic. I love the little details like his glasses. I just think that this looks fantastic. And again, it's going to be a centerpiece of my display. Now, I do want to try to push these glasses down. There we go. There we go. I fixed his glasses. But yeah, no, he looks fantastic. There's literally nothing that I can say about this toy that I don't like. I like every little bit about it. And it retails for $15, but again, it's only at the show, so make sure you get a hold of it. Huge thanks to Mattel for sending this along, and stay tuned to Jurassic Outpost for more reviews. If there's anything else you'd like to see from Hammond, let us know. I'd love to do more detailed review in the future, and maybe even include him in my eventual Brachiosaurus review, which I have yet to do. But that will be coming soon as well. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to Jurassic Outpost. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff if you like the video. Sound off in the comments below. And stay tuned for all the latest news.